Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Mania of Randomizers, the third edition. This is the Final Fantasy 1 Spring Tournament. This is the Hangry Canuck taking on shoombabi in the round of 64. They are closely seated. It's an exciting time ahead. Nightmare Phoenix, are you feeling the hype?
I am so incredibly hyped. I'm pumped. I saw this matchup when the seeds were announced, and I decided I need to get in on this. I want a front row seat, and I'm super excited to see what we got going on tonight.
Also, seeing what we've got going on tonight, we have a very hyper streamer in Shanigan helping make this all happen. And as always, reminding us that swords don't run out of MP. It's Melee Wizard on the tracking tonight.
Now, we got some interesting matchups here. As far as party comp goes, they went with the 2 forced 2 draft. And shoombabi drafted a black belt. Hangry Canuck drafted the fighter. And
Canuck likes to have that fighter around. It's usually going to do well at the lower levels than the black belt needs. If you get the weapon, the black belt adds a lot of stability where you don't necessarily need the levels. Adds some pretty good white and black magic for our mages that were forced.
Some fire 3, light 3, those are going to be very handy. The white magic, not so great. There's wall. Was there life? I think I saw.
There was life for level 1.
That's going to be super great. Let's talk about our blessings. We have 1 blessing and 1 cursing. And on our forced, our white mage can use fighter weapons, but they're down 30 HP. And our black mage can use an Excalibur, but he lacks 10 strength. So let's hope we don't have to need to use that Excalibur on our black belt. Black mage.
Poor Mo running around with only 1 HP at the very beginning of the game. They got a couple save items because they get a starter pack. Not too much. There is one of our 40 monster in a boxes that will be hanging around the world at random. Crawl's hitting for 7 because they are jerks. They like to hit a bunch. And, I'm personally a fan of getting a couple levels right outside Canaria. If you got that AoE, they could be coming in here level 3 with a bunch more spell charges available.
Not only that, if everything goes sideways, the town is just right there. Easy to get back to it.
So Canuck got through the fight, got just a little bit of gold for it, and then he got a very shocking encounter with those angry imps.
Great wolves with, or gray wolves, you call them what you will, have thunder, and that's quite shocking indeed.
That is a high-level elemental ability.
It's definitely not something you enjoy seeing early on, but it does possibly mean that something scarier later down the line won't have it.
Well, up in the northern room, there is a good bit of lunch money, about 6,000 or so.
Oh, we're looking at
close to 8,000 actually. So that's a very decent starting chunk of change.
All right, time to see what Garland has up his sleeves. Gonna feed him some cake, and down he goes.
Saved before going in there, which was a very veteran move, as Will Cleosis likes to say, because then you know you've got the kill in the bank. We got ourselves a slab and a crystal. So crystal enables some immediate progression if you feel like walking up to Matoya, which we actually can't do because we don't have a bridge yet.
Garland taking 2 lightning 3s to the face before going down. Looks like cake was really the way to go. And shoombabi is picking up his crew and getting ready to make that long walk towards the dwarves.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, do we have a loose ship over there?
Well, we don't have a loose ship, but because we don't have a bridge, our options are highly limited as to where we can go.
I guess we can get to Marsh with having the canoe. Normally, you'd not be able to do that in the vanilla game, of course, because you wouldn't have canoe that early.
But this is our. I do believe we have early progression and early extended progression, perhaps on.
Yeah, so of course in the base game you couldn't walk over to the dwarves, but a couple quick map edits later we're able to make that trek. Masamune +3, and
Oh.
right now Canuck is really mad that there's a black belt, or will be once he sees that. But for shoombabi, it still works out pretty well because that Masamune is actually going to deal more damage until the black belt is well into his 30s.
And shoombabi fighting off the invisible bridge boss. And Hangry Canuck is about to find his Masamune as well.
Yeah, he'll be very happy to have that, and very sad that your opponent has that. So we've either got vendor progression or progression in Marsh. Well, I guess we can do the long walk over to more stuff as well, but I'd be thinking Marsh at this point. I feel like that's what the seed's telling us.
Absolutely. The Marsh has definitely got to have either a ship or the canal. One of those two things. Because fortunately, we do have the canoe.
Let's see what we've got for Magic, Brack, and Temper at level 3. That's pretty nice. And
Bane isn't too bad either.
I think Bane's odd man out, because
I
Block
would
in
rather
there as well.
I would rather be tempering, but I mean Bane for a Hail Mary. Ooh, we got Fade and Harm 4 and Invis 1. That Fade is probably going to be the one I get, and I'm not buying anything else.
Hail Mary, you definitely would rather have Brack. It's going to be more accurate than Bane is.
This is true. Is Bane single target or multi-target?
Bane is AoE.
Well, Bane could be good for large packs of early enemies.
Yeah, I think you go stick with AoE, especially once you just found Fade there.
And we got level 4 Warp. That's quite nice. Having
That's going to make me stall on any Marsh play until I've got a couple of charges of it.
I would absolutely head down into Marsh, maybe go up to the top and loot around, see what I can find.
Right now, I'm thinking let's get a trip over to Crescent Lake, see if there's a vendor item there, and the overworld encounters are just going to be better for experience over there flat out. So that's what I'm liking more. Get those levels, then I've got Warp, then I've really got options that look a lot better.
That early item from the Sages could also be very beneficial for extra XP gain. Make your grinds go a lot quicker, and it looks like Shoom is going to do just that.
Or with 2 checks over here, one of them could be the floater, and then it's game on.
Would you consider diving ice this early though?
I would want a little bit more. Again, I would want more in the way of spell charges. Now, once you're talking 10, 12, a little bit higher than that, you got enough spell charges to really do the job. But right now, that's my biggest hang-up, is I don't have enough spell charges where either play is going to feel great.
And it looks like shoombabi is doing some encounter manipulation to try to get through the river system quickly.
And we really don't have enough heal potions for a big dungeon dive.
Well, since we're over here on this side of the continent, would you be opposed to taking the long way up to Bravoka and then maybe visiting the good old Pop, the Peninsula of Power?
I really wouldn't, because outside of Crescent there's a couple of zones here, and especially if you can get Peds over here, that's actually going to be better than Peninsula of Power.
That is a very fair point. I keep forgetting
Ruby
about
for
Peds.
sale.
Yeah, like 11,000? That's not that expensive either.
No, but we don't have a ton of cash.
We found a Viz 2. 17.
Honestly, what's crawling out to me right now is a little unconventional, but I'll throw it out anyways. Volcano Armory.
Yeah, and you
We
know
can
what?
get 2 treasure checks. We can get 2 trap tile checks. We can get a whole bunch of treasure in there. And with
Absolutely.
Masamune, we would not need a lot before I'd even feel comfortable going on to kill Carrie.
Well, it looks like Shoombabi is gonna go up to Provoka. Hangrycanuck traveling the river system.
I don't hate it, but I also love to make counter plays. I love to do something that I think my opponent won't. Give myself a chance to gain an advantage.
Absolutely. Usually, fate favors the daring. Then again, overconfidence has been my downfall in the past.
And there's also 2 checks in this direction, because not only is there the pirates, but we've got that crystal to head up to Matoya with.
It is a good play, and it looks like Hangrycanuck is making a very, very similar effort.
Looks like Shoombabi is committed
A loot.
keeping the fighter damned. That way he's getting more experience on the other 3 party members. Kanek has got his fighter and white mage down, getting just the 2 people experience.
Brother, he's
Don't
got his
hate it,
black
but he
belt
is missing
down.
out on Fade.
Yeah, he is missing out on that fade, but at the same time, he likes his fighters through and through. So just fighter black mage, he's happy.
Yeah, make no mistake, fighter level 32 with Masamune
Oh.
is going to wreck stuff. So's Nuke.
Level 2 nuke and fast on the same thing. You hate to see it on the same line, but you love finding them early.
The white mage revived for Hangrycanuck, so now he is going to have that fades. That's actually going to work. Well, having the fade is going to help take the edge off of the nuke so that you have enough fasts. Really, the only time you're going to be concerned about rationing it is for Temple of Fiends Revisited. Elsewise, you're only going to need 1 fast.
Absolutely. Just 1 per fiend and 1 for chaos, if that's your style.
Mad Ponies are giving us the cold shoulder. They've got Frost.
Shoombabi making his way up to go visit the old lady in the cave. I like to think of her as Sarda's ex. They had a falling out about how to decorate a cave, and apparently now they live far apart. And she gives him TNT.
How about that for a long walk back?
That is literally the furthest walk you could possibly have to make in this game. Especially without that bridge. I can't see him making that trip all the way back just for that turn in just yet. I'd probably stop by Ice, maybe definitely visit the volcano.
2 of these being loaded with a monster in a box fight. Mentioned this earlier. There's 40 of them scattered throughout the game, so it's just bad random chance in this case, as we see the bad men who have stun touch.
Yeah.
So Shoombabi has lost everything and has to redo this fight. And
If he gets
better
through,
nuke rolls.
if he gets through, it's going to be some real good XP on his surviving party members. He's really hoping to keep that black belt alive long enough to get through.
Yeah, really hoping for the turn order to work out, and then the damage rolls. Because nuke is enough if it gets the high roll. If they get the resisted, it's not doing enough damage.
And unfortunately, that white mage is down as well, so we're not going to get a nuke fade combo. As Canuck is about to catch up, I think Shoom's going to grab his TNT and go. Going to go ahead and warp out.
It was a nice chunk of money from that Wiz Ogre chest, but I do understand not wanting to refight it.
He saw what was in it, deemed it, I'll find plenty of money later. Canuck finding the Gerwolves with Thunder again. He decided to reset back and ends up back at Provoka. He has to make that trip again.
If the randomizer happens to be new to you and you're like, wait a minute, wolves don't do that. We have something on called Script Shuffle, and the way I like This causes enemies to pick up stuff that they normally wouldn't, and as I like to describe it, do you want imps with nuke? Because this is how you get imps with nuke.
As well as fade, or not fade, poison touch, stun touch, stone touch.
Nope, that's actually not script shuffle.
No. Which one does that fall under?
Those are the there's enemy status effect or something to that. I forget the exact verbiage of it. But yeah, they can be independent, and actually, it's a fun thing to do. Try this sometime with no script shuffle on, but turn that one on. You end up seeing those status effects way more often from the enemies.
That's terrifying. Well, thehangrycanuck just fell to the bad men. However, he saved halfway to Matoya, so he's going back for round 2.
It looks like he's going to skip it this time because he would have saved outside if he was going to try it again. Notably, he could have done the faded nuke combo.
Good fade and a good nuke could do it.
I would prioritize this.
But trying to get through that turn order is a little too scary. I'd probably just take those 2 boxes, turn in the crystal, get my TNT, and skedaddle.
Now, shoombabi is going to make the ice cave play. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I just feel like this would have really benefited from another couple levels.
I agree. I think visiting the volcano on my way up to Matoya, stopping at the ice cave on my way back, probably that would probably feel better to me. Especially if he gets wiped out early here, he has to make a choice if he's going to keep beating his head against this or make that long canoe trip back through the river system, which nobody likes to do.
Well, also, if you're going to go back, if you're going to go back for the TNT check, you absolutely must do Marsh. It's just too much of a mistake to pass it by routing-wise. You've got to do it. Now, then you're, of course, risking Thunder in there, so this might actually be a lower-risk play than making the Marsh play right now.
Well, one thing that Shim can really hope for in all these chests, because there's a lot of chests in ice, is a ribbon. And he does have some warp charges, so he's going to do a little randomizer secret and use warp in that central hole and pop right back up and hit all 3 boxes without having to go the long way and do this 2-3 times over. But he finds a decent grind tile.
That's an EXP bonanza. This is a going out of business Katie bar the door experience for sale encounter.
Provided they don't have anything, like toxic. That would really be bad.
Look at that's over 8,000 experience for that fight.
Now the question is he going to try and down one of his light warriors to maximize that was a lot of money. Maximize his XP growth.
Don't run from that! That's 4 whiz mummies! This is exactly what you want right now. Oh, if he gets FF1 special right now.
FF1 special, where you kill most of them and then still run away?
Yes.
Ah.
Well, he's okay because actually 2 survived. The FF1 special is when only 1 survives.
Wow, that is a tanky whiz mummy. It took 2 fire 3s and a hit, and it's still standing. And there it is.
Not that tanky, just it resisted the magic. Enemies can resist the magic, and it only does half damage. So, everything was dying to 1 fire 3, it's just it happened to roll the resistance twice.
Meanwhile, thehangrycanuck came all the way back to Elfland. It's an interesting play.
That's some big-time armor for a knight.
What did we find?
Opal +3.
Oh my. That's
that's as high as absorb as can exist in the game.
Is Dragon not more absorb?
Dragon, if it's not equal, it's just a little point or 2 behind on absorb.
The benefit of dragon armor, however, is that it resists elemental magic, which is really, really big, especially when you get to the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
We still haven't seen an incentive item out of this ice cave, but there's only 4 boxes left.
So Hangry Canuck went all the way back to the dwarves to turn into TNT, and this will be our first look at what Narek the dwarf has. He has a floater.
Well, that pays some dividends, and of course makes me completely a liar for saying you can't skip the Marsh Cave. Because now you absolutely skip the Marsh Cave.
Because the Marsh Cave is going to have your ship, unless it's in these boxes. Next to the monsters and the purple worms.
And that's probably going to be a wipe.
Well, the Black Mage survived just long enough to get smacked out.
You can get back there very quickly, though, because he doesn't have to check any of these boxes again.
He
I don't think he's going to go back for the Opal 3. For a night party, you would want to, but he's relying on that black belt. He drafted the black belt. Squint comes out and says, you don't really need that fighter anyways.
All right, Hangry Canuck with that floater, he's gonna go turn it into an airship, and then I wouldn't be surprised if I see him stop by the volcano to gear up.
I think he's gonna hit the incentive checks next. You got Sarda available for free. That's really the only one right now, but you could also translate the slab and see whatever Sarda gives you for further progress.
That could, yeah. The walk to turn in the slab after it's translated from Melman, though, a little dicey, especially if I get jumped
I didn't
halfway
say you had
through.
to do that right now. I just said since you're going to Sarda anyways, you probably go ahead and translate it.
Oh, absolutely.
And then see what direction it takes you in. So the worm box was the one on the left. Shoombabi is going to obviously check the other two first and hope that that one doesn't happen to be the one guarding the key item here.
Now, a tactic that some runners have been using for these flags with the monster in the box is to fully load up on cheap gear. Some cheap armor, some cheap weapons, and use that to negate the monster jumping out and kind of hurting them. And Shanigan is pointing out that the key items are not locked behind a monster in a box. So if you see a monster in a box, you know that your key item is not in there.
And it's a white shirt from Sarda. Our progression is the slab. We could do waterfall,
Or ordeals.
but the seed right now is screaming at us. You better translate that slab and go find out what it is.
Shoombabi having a hard time getting out of Ice Cave. And that's a wipe.
Connect just looped the entire world to go to Melmond.
Sometimes you need a moment to think.
Sometimes you're just angry. Shoombabi has gone back in to Ice Cave. He got the ship.
Well, he also wiped out of it.
He did?
He ran into a pack of wizards and they iced him into oblivion. So
right,
at least he knows where
is.
the ship is. And now he's got to go grab it and get up.
Distracted while I was trying to figure out what Connect was up to.
Yeah, it's all good. That's why there's two of us here.
Well, that sure doesn't hurt. What also wouldn't hurt is if he got those couple levels from the Wiz
The
Mummy.
Wiz Mummies? Absolutely. Hangry is going to check out the Marsh Cave.
I actually really like it. He's got the warp charges to make this easy.
Of course, if it's If it's the bridge, then, well, we don't really need that anymore. Except the bridge would give us a little bit more XP per level or per fight. Oh, it's a black shirt. There's a black shirt in Marsh.
That's a very nice thing to have for free ice 2s.
Not only that, but our fighter can wear the black shirt right now. That is his blessing. However, his curse is he has the vitality of a black mage.
That would be the equivalent of a gold bracelet -2. So it's not good armor. And these bones are very shocking. Oh my goodness, it was followed up by Blizzard.
Well, they're full of surprises.
Bones had lit 3.
Terrifying
And
storm.
Thunder is in here as well with those angry wolves. This is a nasty, nasty marsh cave. That's what you get, folks, when you have a crafted with care Almarkin seed.
That early game is just not. It's doing everything it can to slow our runners down. Shoom grabbing his ship, and he is, well, waylaid once again by wizards.
Sleep touch on the scorpions. They're a bad enemy to have it because they're hitting multiple times.
And there's usually several of them.
Yeah, they like to come in packs and they like to hit multiple times.
And that's a reset out. Angry might go to the linked chest on the second floor for his black shirt. I'm not exactly sure which chest that is, though.
I have absolutely no idea.
There is a chart somewhere on the internet that some wonderful person made.
Oh yes, I just never worry about it.
But Hangry is going to go all the way down.
I usually wouldn't worry about it, but also I don't think he's going to want the extra fight. I think he's looking to get in, get out as best he can without seeing. You know, there's 4 enemies now we're trying to avoid. That's a lot of enemies to try and avoid in Marsh Cave. Basically, you can't avoid all of them. You're just hoping for RNG to favor you.
Our tracker, Melee Wizard, saying he thinks he warped out after the he went down, went through the top. So he probably
that would be a very rational thing to do.
Oh, hey, cloth -3. That's a chime. There's a chime in Marsh.
Now, he didn't even take the 2 steps over to get that other treasure box. I just want to highlight that. That's how much he wanted to be out of Marsh. He wasn't willing to take 2 steps.
That treasure box, I know, is linked someplace, because every time I end up checking it, it's always empty for me. That's usually because I go to the top floor.
It's that first room on the northwest.
Now, well, there you go.
Yep. So now, again, he's got waterfall ordeals and the slab check.
Well, shoombabi has brought his ship out of ice, picked it up at Elfland, sailed under the through the canal. He's gonna go turn into TNT and realize that he just wasted a whole bunch of time.
We were having a conversation before this started about average length of these seeds, and the brackets do seem to be going a good bit slower on average than we've seen out of the pod flags. So this is a slow start, which is going to mean a little bit longer overall time. And I think it's pretty important as a runner to calm yourself down and not worry about it, knowing that it's a slog for your opponent too, that there was not a free path through this early game. So when we get to 40 minutes from now and you're not ready to go into Topher yet, you just got to remember your opponent's almost certainly in the same place you are.
Absolutely. Especially, I think one of the strategies that shoombabi is going to go with is because he has that black belt, he doesn't have a huge need for gear. So he's going to check as few chests as he can to find the items he absolutely needs, and that's it. The only thing he needs other than that are levels for his black belt. Whereas Hangry Canuck, because he has a fighter, granted, we already have our endgame weapon. Um, all he really lacks is some decent armor to, tank some hits. But he's going to have to touch a lot more boxes than Shoombabi will. And I think that
in the
is
ice cave, there's that big opal armor, which would be a great find for him, but it would
Yes.
require the tail to be able to use it.
And we find a herb from our slab.
I don't think that's a bad pickup, especially since we've already gotten sort of whammied, if you will, by the white shirt, just that it's not a progression item. Obviously, you always want the white shirt when you can get it.
Absolutely. So
But
the white shirt is...
The odds are that white shirt is... the herb is leading to another progression item.
I mean, right now the worst... There's two items that it could lead to that would just be utterly useless. Well, mostly useless.
The ruby is for sale, so that one's off the table.
Oh, that's true. The ruby is for sale. I did forget about that. Well,
so kind of the worst we could do would be the tail, which is something that Canuck is actually going to want for the night.
Absolutely. And Shoombabi is going to see that tail and be, yeah, this is worthless.
But Canuck is going to say, I'm as close to ordeals as I'm going to get. Let's do this thing.
Reese Wolf in our chat points out that checking out ordeals is a lot faster by boat. It's a much longer walk by airship, as you can see Hangry Canuck making that trip now.
Gyro has got some very sharp teeth tonight. Some might say his bite is outright toxic.
Womp womp. Everybody clap. That was a good one.
So Shoombabi is hunting for this encounter. He found the T-Rex. T-Rex has Scorch. That's actually a good thing. It's near free. And under 800 HP for the T-Rex doesn't really narrow it down too much yet. Looks like that's the second encounter off power cycle, probably. So this should be a Tyro.
Yeah, this is where Shoombabi's going to get his levels.
And I'd run from this and just worry about... yeah, he can just reset out of it, too. He can do a soft reset, and it'll work out perfectly, and it'll get him to the T-Rex. T-Rex has some sharp teeth, though, so you're kind of really forced to need him to Scorch for a bit.
And it looks like that's what he likes to lead with. He likes to sink his teeth into something a little bit warmer. As Canuck makes his way through the maze of ordeals.
There is as much as 4 things that any enemy can do. They can attack, they can use a spell, they can use an ability, or they can run away. Scorch is an ability list, and this is a long ability list for that T-Rex who looks to have just over 400 HP based on that kill.
But he also has cracks, so he does have a tendency to...
That's on the ability list, so that's actually not scary because it's going to be behind Scorch every time. So if you're one-shotting T-Rex, you're never going to see it again, basically.
That's actually really good information.
Thank you, I try.
Hangry
now, that's only true when you one-shot. Yeah, see, it's got Trance ahead of it, too. So you've got 3 times he has to choose an ability before he gets back to crack. So that's not one to scare you.
And by the time that the crack does likely come around, our black belt's probably going to, be able to avoid that.
Yeah, you're actually much more scared of Trance.
Trance can be very, very annoying. But fortunately, it's on a monster that only usually appears in ones, so you don't have to worry about a whole pack trying to paralyze you into...
all T-Rex formations are ones. There's no multiple.
Yes.
It's also the highest experience overworld enemy in the game.
That's another thing I didn't know.
Well, that's part of what makes it hype.
All kinds of things tonight.
He was extremely rare, only in a few zones, and was a Group 8 encounter, which is actually more rare than Warmech. This trip to Ordeal is definitely required as we find a cube.
Well, that's a chime and a cube for Hangry Canuck. He seems to be doing exactly what the seed is telling him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a trip over to the desert as well.
He's getting the progression while shoombabi is getting the levels. This is exactly what that black belt needed. And given what
Oh.
we've seen, he actually would have been in a little bit of trouble. I take that back now that we've seen the eye, but having not seen the big trap tile, it would have been a little rough going to level up the black belt without this. And
Absolutely.
he really benefited from getting that Moss immune when we did.
Well, they do say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and you just love to see this tile.
I see
It's
what
better
you did.
when there's more of them, but I mean, hey, one eye is just fine.
It also confirms we're on A-side encounters for the trap tiles if we weren't sure of that before, by the way.
That's another really good point.
I kind of actually wish Canuck had gone a little bit further than that, because I feel like one of the things that people running fighters against black belts have not done is take advantage of the same juicy experience that the black belt is soaking up. Because, I mean, a level 32 Moss immune wielding knight is just.
And if they roll with a nuke, then or punch hard, that knight's gonna chuckle as he proceeds to hack and slash that fiend into pieces.
The other thing that's worked out really well for shoombabi is that Tyro has liked to use abilities on the script instead of doing the attacks because even now, with his levels, he would not survive 2 rounds of attack from this T-Rex. It's hitting way too hard for that.
I feel like this grind that shoombabi is taking now is going to pay off dividends in the end. The only downside to doing it now is he doesn't have a whole lot of key items to really maximize that growth potential.
The fact that it's a T-Rex, though, offsets that. I mean, that would matter a lot more if you're taking a lower experience encounter than this. I think it's worth. It might be worth more than 2 eyes, honestly.
Hey, is that a vanilla key? I think that's a vanilla key.
It is a vanilla key, and it's going to enable Canuck to get stuff. Lots of stuff.
And stuff is exactly what he wants. Let's see if they stash any monsters in their armory back here.
So a question/comment that came up in chat was, when would you take the Moss immune off? And with it being a big Moss immune like this, don't. Don't take it off until your level grind is finished. There's no reason to do an extra menu. But as far as breakpoints of damage, you're not even going to be close to better until level 32.
Ooh, that was a big hit from that T-Rex. And down goes shoombabi.
I believe I mentioned you weren't going to survive 2 bites.
Yeah, and you were 100% correct. I never doubted you for a second. See, T-Rex with Scorch. That's the one we'd like to see.
Yeah, and now it looks like he can one-shot. That may involve crits, but still pretty good. Bottle from Canaria locked.
That bottle is going to have a fairy in it, and that fairy is going to be in Gaia. And, Connected's absolutely going to go see where that leads. We still need a rod and an oxyale to complete. Wow, they had 3 monsters in their armory. I guess Hangry Canuck took the wrong turn, and he is raiding the prison instead of their treasure room.
That's a bunch of waters.
Water would be great with some ice, some ice too. Ice 2 if it's a small 2, and a little bit raised of the ice, it's ice cube.
I think he's got the black shirt, but Ice 2
that's
is
ice square.
probably not quite enough. Ice 3 is usually going to kill them.
Ice 3, ice cube.
High HP enemy.
See, there was a joke in there and I just couldn't find it.
I'm actually surprised Shoombabi is still going here. I thought 32 would be enough that you would just take it and go. But I suppose this is a reaction to the start of the game having been so slow. Now you're going to try and make some time up on the back end by having the higher level black belt. I don't hate it.
It is a good way to kind of change things to help get them back into your favor. Especially since he went through all that effort to pick up a boat that he's never going to touch again.
Could
But
have got the Gaia first and revived the party for this because the black belt is not going to do great against a 6-pack of enemies.
not at all. But the good news is we do have Leafish Hospitality on, so we can go pick him up if he wants.
Well,
But
that does make a difference.
he has plenty of camping gear. He's just gonna encounter manip his way through.
Fairy yields the power gauntlet, so that is going to be something that Shoombabi is absolutely going to want. Canuck's not too upset with it either.
Not at all. Power Gauntlet on a knight. That knight can man mode if he absolutely needs to. Would be better if he could find the defense sword. That way he doesn't have to worry about anything else in the world. And Shoombabi picking up his herb.
Alright, so now with that AoE magic, it's a little easier to get through these overworld encounters. Lacking the cube, he's not going to quite be ready to deal with our Fiend of Wind yet. I would guess Marsh is going to be next on his hit parade. There's our first ribbon. Always a welcome sight.
Rolling down, but you know what? You're not picking it up for the absorb, you're picking it up for the abilities it provides, which is a lot. It's so many I don't even know.
Here we go with the volcano. Always be careful because, of course, the floor is lava.
And unfortunately, we have that the tile flicker off, which is quite aggravating on the eyes as well as the sound. It's an atrocious sound. I don't know why they put that in the game.
So
Guards with Blaze.
Another fun fact is apparently the whole flicker thing and the orb animation is apparently one of the most impressive programming feats ever pulled off on the NES, because it's like super hard to do that and no other game did it.
It definitely is very unique. I've never seen. I didn't really see any other NES game that attempted anything like it. It's definitely very interesting.
Canuck dealing with these Cerebi. They have stun touch. That's unpleasant, but he's alive.
And Shoombabi not touching any of these chests. He's here for one thing and one thing only. And that's to find out what Rattlesnake tastes like. Well, I guess she's more of a Lamia.
Half rattlesnake.
Yeah, well, there's no rattle, so at part constrictor. Either way, he's microwaving dinner.
Falconic joining us in the chat. Hi, Mo. And there's the orb for Shoombabi. That is our first orb on this race. Coming 43 minutes in, maybe feels a little late to be getting our first one, but again, just that slow start. But now, gonna have pedal to the floor with the airship with a lot of resources, but we don't have a lot in the way of armor.
Not at all, but we do have a rather beefy black belt, so armor, not too terrible. He's probably going to go visit Marsh right after this. He does have the key. He might go to Corneria Locked immediately. I would probably go to Marsh since I'm in the area. And Hangry Canuck finding the Oxiel in the greater than less than room of the Mirage Tower.
This is a tough call to still be exploring here when he found his Oxyale instead of just going.
Yeah, his black mage is still up. I would have warped out. I would have locked that in and then probably gone and gotten my party back up.
I get where he's coming from, though, because that's a lot of treasure to leave behind on not many steps.
Worst case scenario, he knows exactly where he has to go when he comes back in, so he can just go straight there if he wipes, pick it up, get out, and be back on his way.
I don't think there's anything that would warrant going back to that, or just because it's so out of the way. And we already have a ribbon and a moss immune, so it's not like you're chasing either one of those.
Nope. But he did go back, pick up at least his fighter.
If I did know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that was a second ribbon, I would go back for that. That's probably it. And I would have to know it. But the only way to know that's a ribbon is to have every other treasure and already have a second ribbon, in which case I wouldn't go back for it.
Very true. Alright, shoombabi, moments away from finding the chime in Marsh.
Is Canuck going back for that one box, though?
I think
no, he's got the cube. He's going all the way.
He's going all the way.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth the extra steps here to go get that.
No, not even. It's you got what you came for, and you're out.
Very nice random encounter with the Whiz Mummies.
And he has his 2 party members down, so that's going to be some significant XP. A fighter at level 25 is not a bad thing. Some would argue that he's probably a little over leveled for the end game.
It sort of depends on how you count it. I mean, I don't target the minimum. The minimum is what you're doing when you're in go mode the whole way, and you don't want to stop and take extra time. Now, that is not the position we found ourselves in earlier.
Not at all. Canuck probably feels great with the routing choices he's made thus far. So he's probably not panicking, not in any stress rush. He's just taking things as they come and making the most of it as Shoom stocks up on houses, and he's gonna make the waterfall play. What are we thinking is gonna be hidden behind waterfall today?
Adamant.
Adamant? I'm thinking tail. But think crown.
Nightmare, let's keep this PG. We are on a nice family-friendly channel here.
Let me be more specific. The rat tail that Bahamut really wants for some reason. Big king of dragons.
The bird wants a rat tail, you know. I think we know who the real hangry one is here.
Well, if you look at it a different angle, a rat tail is a type of hairstyle.
Gas Dragon random encounter here in the waterfall. You can get one show up. It's around Warmech rarity.
So it looks like Hangry Canuck is deciding to take these monster in a box and walking grind as he encounters them. Ooh, a gold +3 and an X-Cal +4. Well, we can put the X-Cal on our Black Mage. And now our Black Mage will be doing, maybe 60 damage.
Yeah, I think he's doing this for a second ribbon because no life caster, obviously, with the 2-man strats.
He also doesn't have any really good armor on his fighter yet, and I don't think he kept that. Well, wow. I don't think he kept the opal armor or found it. And I called it. The robot had a tail. I was kind of expecting they'd make him work for it a little bit, but I guess not. Is Shoom gonna go
It's
and
Bridge of Destiny. Timmy's got the Wormick.
Ooh.
Here we go. Oh, Canuck. And
Oh, but
a
he ran away.
Mossman and X-Cal and you run?
Why? Why would you do such a thing? Well, then again, he doesn't have the best armor on his fighter, so I could see that. But Warmech may show up a second time, so
It's the right play, but that doesn't stop us from resenting him for it.
this is true.
And he will totally understand that when he's watching this back.
Shoombabi making his play to Ordeals now, gonna find his cube. And then it's off to Mirage Tower.
4 red hydras is a phenomenal amount of experience for a counter that is usually very easy to kill.
Alright, let's see how Tia 1 plays. Gonna go ahead with fast, swinging for 5 hits, 308 damage.
Yeah, you need to do the fast, then go to bracket round 2.
Nope, he's gonna fast twice.
I disagree.
He's gonna fast his Black Mage. He's gonna go for whole day and prey strats.
I mean, Tiamat's not going to have that much more HP, so yeah.
Yeah, the Black Mage never got a chance. He's like, oh, good, I get to swing this really hard and a lot. And the fighter's like, no, this is my kill, dude. Go get your own.
Yeah, the fighter was not going to have any trouble killing Tiamat there. There was no question about that. The only question was, could Brack kill him a turn faster and save you time?
Yeah, Brack strat's always a good option. All right, and
the Oxyel, so Waterfall and
Onrek.
Sea Shrine right here.
Well, we are tied at 1 orb apiece. But I think Canuck is gonna gain the lead here in a moment by going down and making some sushi.
I have the orb count lead. It's still pretty even in progress, and Shoombabi is going to have an advantage of getting through bosses.
Absolutely. The last thing we need to complete this is the rod, which is probably going to be adamant to crown or crown to adamant, and both. One of those items has got to be down here in our sea shrine, I do believe.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the start of the chain. So Canuck has gone to the waterfall first. Now, this is a perfect encounter for getting with this party and that X-Gal and Masamune, because it's just so easy to kill the two. And they're very decent experience, actually.
Mm-hmm. Especially if he runs into gas dragons in here, which we know they show up. Speaking of, Shoombabi picking up his ribbon. He's feeling a lot better now.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful, but you can't equip it on the black belt anyways. On the other hand, the black belt has such good magic defense because of the level ups, so that part's not bad.
I think he's gonna focus on putting it on his Black Mage. Keep him alive long enough to get the fasts off. And he finds the eyes. Let's see if he sticks around here for a little bit.
I wouldn't hate getting the Black Mage up to like 18 here. It shouldn't take long at all to do that.
And I think he's taken the Masa off of his Black Belt finally.
Oh, he did that significantly ago. He did that when he got to level 32. I had a bounce bat. When he finished the grind, he took the Masa off.
It was one of those, you blink and makes it. Oh! Canuck finding the Dragon +1 armor. Not as good as Opal +3, but you know what? If that's all I got, it's going on. And I'm not upset at all.
Yeah, that lets you feel a lot more comfortable with having the ribbon on the Black Mage as well.
And especially because he's going to turn around, talk to the robot. The robot's going to give him, unfortunately, a tail. And
it's not unfortunate in his case. It's
no,
he wants.
Well, it's the fact that you're given a tail. I mean, that's a weird thing for somebody to randomly hand you. but he's going to be excited. He's probably going to warp right out of here, and we're
It's
going to
not
see
right
him
that he
promote.
asked for it.
I guess that's true. Level 37. I would not be surprised if shoombabi takes this all the way up to at least 40.
I don't think this is for the black belt. I think this is for the black mage.
Well, he put the black mage up in the front. The only reason I would ever do that is hoping that the black mage decides to take a nap. But black mage isn't going to do that too easily on an eye.
Well, you could always parry the black belt's turn if you really wanted to make sure that the black mage died.
Very true. But, I mean, XP on 2 people is still good XP. As Hangry Canuck is headed down to Sea Shrine, he's making his way immediately to Kraken. I probably would have gone and promoted first, since I was in the area, and then go down. This way, any extra levels I end up getting can perhaps give my knights and spell charges. But,
yeah, it's a compelling argument, but he still has 2 orbs to go get. So, looks like you are right. He is going to do the black belt to 40, at least. It's not going to take long. 1 or 2 more fights should do that. These flags are very experience rich because they're starting at, I believe it's 2.5, 2.3, and then plus 5% for each item. So it starts adding up really quickly.
I think we're actually going to get to level 42, if not more.
Yeah, that's basically maxing out the black belt hits. The only difference for not doing that is just counting on the fact that you'll get enough levels along the way.
Well, one thing we didn't mention is our black belt's blessings, and they were blessed with an extra 20 strength, and they were cursed with -5 luck. All in all, not too bad actually. That's that would have been my pick for a draft, absolutely.
Damage poison comes out from the angry sharks. That's something you don't want to see too early. What you do want to see pretty early though is that flame shield +1, good shield for the fighter now.
He did pick up an opal, a vanilla opal shield in Ordeals. Is that going to be better or worse than the flame
Significantly better.
Significantly better?
Yeah, it's 2 to 3 tiers better of shield.
It's also only equipable by a knight, so I would hope it's better.
Pretty much all shields are knight only, except for buckler and pro cape, which are arguable whether or not they're shields, but they go in that slot.
This is why I am not in the 64 brackets. Chanagan pointing out that strength on a black belt is useless unless he has a weapon, and that was something I did not know.
And just to correct myself, ninjas can equip shields as well.
The elemental ones, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Catch myself before chat can.
shoombabi picking up his bottle. He's going to go turn that in, and that's going to lead to, what was it, the Oxy Ale?
I don't remember. That was more than 5 minutes ago.
Ooh,
we see
3
all of
red
our
dragons
locations now, except for the actual key item turn-ins or the adamant, the crown. And it looks like that's going to be a chain that leads to the rod. Fairy did have the power gauntlet.
Ah, that's right. For some reason, I thought somebody else had the power gauntlet. Oh well. Oh, hey, look! We found our crown.
One of the things we didn't specifically lay out, but obviously it's been a factor throughout these bracket flags, is that we know which dungeons are incentivized, meaning the key item will be there, but not which box in the dungeon will be the key item. So they knew that there was a key item in Sea Shrine, just not which box that it would be. Whereas in the olden days, it would always be the fairy floor room that had the His slab.
The mermaid floor?
Yeah, the slab.
Oh, right.
That would be the key item if you had C incentivized in
I
yield
was,
base.
I was looking at the fairy on the screen, and I'm like, but I thought the items were in my brain just shut off and short circuited, and I'm back online now.
Are you? Are you really? You know, we hadn't talked much about these runners, and I just want to say a little bit about them. So Shoombabi here is actually a teacher, teaches mathematics and aerospace engineering. All well and good, but I still stand by my statement. Don't do math while live on Twitch. It'll always betray you. He's about to get a ribbon, though. That's going to be a very welcome sight. And for Duck, he has been around Final Fantasy Randomizer as much as just about anybody has, and is also known for speedruns of another game called Destiny of an Emperor, where he is very high on the leaderboard there. Recently did a marathon run of that about a month ago.
Canuck apparently took a wipe, and he has to march all the way back down to Kraken now.
Actually going to be very quick considering he knows where to go, but Canuck, you missed a step. Falconic's going to get on you about that.
Overall,
One of
though,
the
his
interesting mechanics of the game. Oh, Canuck, 2 steps you missed. I don't even believe this. Amateur hour, Canuck. You know better than this.
Well, at least he didn't go the long way around the shame building.
So what I'm getting at is the tile in front of a door in this game is encounter free. It's a free step. So there's 2 that he could have taken that he didn't take, and they're just free. That now 2 steps is not that important, but still, it's just a how accurately are you walking thing. So Canuck has regained his crown and begins the march to Kraken. And this should be go mode the rest of the way for Canuck. He obviously would love another ribbon, but I just don't see him stopping anywhere to even look, particularly. I mean, other than Northwest Castle, I don't know what would be quick enough that I would even consider it.
Maybe one of the locked rooms in Topher.
I don't think Topher, but when you say locked, that does make me think of the dwarves. That's the other one I would consider. But I do mean consider. You may just go mode from here. You've got the dragon armor. You've got a ribbon. That's pretty compelling. And he had to do a lot of treasure checks to get to this point, so it's a lot of time spent opening boxes.
Again, as I mentioned before, that box touching is gonna take a lot of time out. Whereas Shoom, he doesn't need to touch any boxes. He knows what he's in for, and he just has to do it.
Is still going to have to shop around for that crown, though. So there's still a chance he goes mermaid side first and is taken away from the crown. But will we see a Warmech?
Come on, Warmech. We only got Nachos.
The funny thing is, that's the same step that Canuck got the Warmech on. So as soon as the flash happened, I was wondering.
And it looks like just some fighters, probably no mech.
Alas.
Oh well. Alright, we got Dueling Fiends here. TM out on Shoombabi's side and Kraken on the Hangry Canuck side. He thinks about going for Brack once more, decides, we're just fast.
Now, fast the first turn, it's the right play. Then you should go Brack.
Ah, but he goes back for fasting on his Black Mage. Doesn't matter, never gets it off. And Hangry Canuck is through his fiend with Shoombabi just moments behind him.
And this is
Alright.
what you want to see with those two-man strats. He's gotten them to a very high level. That's what you're trying to do without much of a dedicated grind. That's part of the methodology of it, is that you're getting him to a higher level than you would a four-man party.
Absolutely. Canuck is trading in that tail for a promotion, and that knight is suddenly going to be quite beefy, as Shoombabi is about to go and try his luck in the Sea Shrine. Now, me personally, if I have a black belt this strong, I know that my my start was kind of iffy. I am probably going to go ahead and go straight to go straight Kraken side.
That
And I
does seem
think
to be a pretty good armor upgrade for the Black Mage as well, getting to go from the silver to the gold +3. That was what was on the Knight, so getting to trade that over because the Dragon armor is going to help with the Black Mage as well.
Absolutely. And the Black Mage is there just in case he needs the to man mode it. He doesn't have Saber, sadly. All right, and the crown is turning into adamant, so Astos is going to melt it down, turn it into a chunk of ore, and that ore is going to turn into a crowbar, or as the game calls it, a rod.
Yeah, that was basically the only path of progress that we had left, so that's what was going to have to be. Kind of hope he checks the Dwarven treasury here.
I mean, the Aegis Shield could be cool, another ribbon would be nice, but I only have 2 characters. I don't need it. They're just going to go.
Yeah, but it's encounter free, so just the fact you could get a second ribbon encounter free.
Well, it's besides the possibility of a monster in a box.
That's not really too scary in his setup. Not unless you were going to throw a boss fight in there.
Could you imagine War Mech in a box? Ooh.
Please don't give bad ideas. You said nothing. Nothing!
So, about that War Mech in a box. Yeah. There's your next project, devs.
Chad, how are you doing tonight? Hope everybody is having fun. Chan, again, thank you for our restream tonight. Melee Wizard, thank you so much for doing the tracking. I am Trenton, joined by Nightmare Phoenix, and we are hanging out, enjoying these runners. Going through this one, it was a bit of a slog to get going. They had to use the canoe to go the long way around the world to the pirates to... no, it wasn't even the pirates. It was Matoya to turn in the crystal. And then had to go all the way back over to the doors for the TNT to get the floater, then all the way back over for the airship. So this was a very long one. Go mode now engaged for Shoombabi picking up the crown.
He's just got 2 stops left. Well, 3 stops technically. He's got a stop off at crack. Stop off at
count.
Nobody counts. All right, how many hits is it gonna take to crack Kraken open?
Oh, I'm gonna say 2 because somebody's gonna jump turn order.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think the Black Mage might be able to get ahead and fast our Black Belt just in time. Nope. 10 hits for, that was big numbers. I didn't quite see all of them.
It was over 1,000. That's all you really need to know. Here comes another basically in-sync fiend kill, by the way.
Yeah, just like before with Canuck moments ahead of Shoombabi, Shoombabi just moments ahead of Canuck this time. And they both have just 1 fiend left. Canuck is...
should go faster. Volcano is just faster than Earth, so... Plus, Shoombabi still has to do the fetch quest.
Absolutely.
So we should see Canuck into Temple of Fiends first, which is what he needs with the fighter strats.
Just swing with the black belt, wait with everybody else, and down goes Estes. With 8 hits.
Astos has nightmares about black belts this high a level.
I think Astos dreads anyone calling themselves a light warrior, and he hasn't seen them for an hour. The Hooray Dwarf getting in the way. Shoombabi not even going to talk to him enough to put him in his place.
Smithy McBeard Sword gives us the rod. That's going to be the last item acquired, and go mode engaged.
So before Shoombabi went into the Sea Shrine, it looked like he was burning off some encounters to get a nice long walk through the Sea Shrine at first. He's not doing the same thing here. I think he's feeling the pressure now.
He knows where he is on the encounter table. That was a very nice walk.
That was a huge walk. Hangry Canuck running into one last bastion of red giants and Agama.
There's one spot in the table where there's 3 encounters that are really close to each other, and I think it starts to either encounter 3 or 4. So if you're already away from that, you don't want to bring it back up again.
And I blinked. Wasn't there a carry in the volcano? Isn't that the field?
Nope, there was just an orb pedestal.
Huh, weird. Well, Rando's got a Rando, right? And Shoombabi about to go visit a vampire.
Okay, this is important. All this time Canuck is spending is not ideal for him. He needs to get in there as absolutely fast as he can, but I will say it's probably worth it to pick up life.
Well, he did pick something up.
He went and got, I think it was Lock 2 for the Black Mage.
Yeah, he's not even gonna res the rest of his team. Just gonna go. Which, it's worth it. It's worth doing.
If there's those 2 encounters right on top of each other, there should be one more here very quickly.
I feel like I get that encounter set all the time. Like it just, I'm constantly running into fights over and over and over and over.
That's why you try to learn where they are, and then if you can move past that, say right before you get into the time gate, like Canuck did. How? Oh, that's the wrong poison. I was gonna say how vanilla for them gas dragons to have poison, but that was a different poison.
Thematic at the very least. All right, gonna throw the loot at the slate, and down we go.
Does anybody know how to play this thing?
No, just playing it against it. Beautiful music will fill the air. It'll be fine.
So the only thing I don't like for Canuck right now is that Black Mage HP is significantly lower than I'd like, just because it's going to be tough for Nuke Plus. Odds are he's going to survive a nuke. Odds are if it's Nuke and one more AoE, he's not surviving.
All right, we're
I roll
shifting.
he's not surviving.
Putting the power bonk in the first slot on our black belt. I think we moved a white shirt someplace. I know we moved a ribbon.
Hey, you're not going to put the ribbon on the black belt here. There's the magic defense to carry anyway, so it's not that bad. But if you did just the ribbon, your armor value would be absolutely atrocious. So you're better off with nothing equipped.
That -3 curse on that ribbon.
I think that would still leave you with either a 1 or a 0. I don't think it can drag your entire absorb to a negative. I'm not even sure the game would process that correctly.
They do so much damage to you, they actually start healing you.
Well, now see, that would be a reason to put the ribbon on.
That would be wonderful. But indeed, it cannot be negative.
Yeah, I don't think you could underflow in this. I think it would just go to 0.
All
Okay.
right. Canuck is
On
through
to the
the
fire floor before Shoombabi has gotten to the loot. That's what he needs. He needs time to be on his side as much as he can. This is already closer than you'd want to draw it up.
Absolutely. I don't. I am torn between which racer I want to win more. Like they both worked real hard for this, and it's been a very interesting.
Slow 2 from Carrie, but it missed.
Wow.
Czar gets the 5 hits and the kill.
Wow.
Don't know that we specifically mentioned this, but all formations runnable.
Except for Fiends. That's in the Pirates.
Okay, excellent point from our tracker melee wizard. Slow 2 did hit, but the fighter was fasted. So there's 3 states for your speed. There's default, there's slow, and there's fast. They'll each increment by 1. So if you fast, you go from 1 to 2, and if you get slowed, you drop back to 1, which is your vanilla.
So, benefit on Hangry Canuck's side, he only has 2 Light Warriors to menu for, whereas Shoombabi still has all 4. So, in any encounter, Hangry Canuck is going to pull ahead in time just because he doesn't have to menu as much.
High drama situation here as we wait to find out what happens with the Kraken.
He
Looks
melts.
like Arconic is dead.
I think he melted. Oh, our Black Mage is gone. No fast for our fighter.
Yep,
This
no,
could be-
you can't stop. You got to keep going. This is what he needs to do.
This can be awful if we get slowed. We don't have any way
Slow
to.
2 is already gone. That's not going to be a factor. What's going to be a factor is how many turns he's losing.
Nuclear.
And nuclear comes out, so that did no good anyways.
I think he's gonna go and do some reviving, maybe buying some life.
Well, unfortunately, that's going to be it. Now, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened had he not lost the Black Mage on Kraken, because then he probably would have gone all out blitz on Tiamat, and this would have been a really interesting race. But there's going to be no stopping Shoombabi from here, because that black belt is just going to absolutely destroy these last few fiends.
If you're a fan of anime, you're looking at the One Punch Man on Shoombabi's screen.
Except it's more like 12 punches, but still.
12 punches, 1 turn, man. All right. Kraken 2 is going to attempt to gatekeep.
We know he's got a big damage hit, but the black belt would probably survive it anyways, unless it's a really high roll.
19 hits for 1457. One-shotted Kraken. That Black Mage getting the fast off in the proper turn order. The Black Belt knowing to wait their turn. That was a beefy hit.
Yeah, so again, this would have been really interesting if Canuck had not lost his Black Mage on the Kraken fight. It just would have added a lot of intrigue, because he would have got the Chaos first by a lot. And then how would that go?
I mean, there's still a small chance that things go sideways for Shoombabi. Unlikely, but it could happen.
The biggest thing working against him is how many heal pots he's burned through, but he's going to have enough.
He's got.
I can't imagine anything that would come up next that would drain off all that MP, but we haven't seen Iron Galls, so what could they have that could maybe do something?
Well, they'll come up next. Or not. What wiped Canuck? The answer was Nuclear Tia 2.
Yeah, but really he lost it on the Kraken fight when he lost his Black Mage, so he tried to do some turtle strats and used the white shirt and ended up just shedding too much HP to survive nuclear.
All right, shoombabi is on chaos, and fighter goes down first, which should be expected. White mage is white shirting. Black mage casts fast on black belt, and now the black belt is gonna swing.
And that is another point in chat that Canuck ended up going into Topher without life on the night, which was level 1, I believe, so learnable, and he picked it up now. If he had that, I think he would have been all out blitz strats on Tia 2, and probably that would have made the difference.
Well, we got lock on chaos, and I don't think he's long for this world. 11 hits, 1026 terminated. Get your GGs in chat for shoombabi.
That is going to be a time of 119.40 for the win, a well-earned one for shoombabi. Drafted the black belt because wanted to have that as an available option. Found that early T-Rex that was second encounter off of Power Cycle, turned it into a whole bunch of levels, and turned it into a victory over the Hangry Canuck.
All right, let's get our victorious shoombabi in here. And that's wrong one.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Shoombabi, however, succeeded in killing a lot of T-Rexes, setting up this win. GG.
Thank you. Thank you. That was quite the experience. I'm still tilted. I'm an hour past Ice Cave and I'm still tilting.
That ice cave was man. We watched you run around, and we thought you were gonna stick around those whiz mummies for a bit, and then just blew past them a couple times.
Yeah, I had considered staying there for the party grind just to get up a little bit, and then that little voice in the back of my head said, "You don't take a deep dungeon experience grind this early unless you're confident you're getting out of the dungeon," and I wasn't at that point, and rightly so, right? The worms in the treasure chest just absolutely shattered me, and then the wizards on the way out, it was just back to back to back, just could not get off the ground. And I find a ship just in time to find a floater. It did not feel good, I can say that much. But yeah, as soon as I got that floater, though, I knew it was time to get the black belt doing something, because I knew Hangry Canuck is a very strong fighter mage like combo player, and knowing that we saw the Masamune 3 like immediately, I was like, the only chance I have now is to fully commit black belt and find a grind. And if I can't find it, if I haven't found it yet, I'm forcing it.
Well, you were hanging out and had a little post-race chat with Canuck, but got into Topher before you did, and was a couple fiends ahead, so if you hadn't lost his black mage, this was going to be a very tight finish.
Yeah, I noticed. I felt behind the entire time. I knew he was seconds from clicking that done button, so I go-moded as hard as I could.
Was feeling behind the motivation for taking the black belt all the way to 42?
Yes, because I mean, I stumbled into a ribbon or two. I think it was one ribbon at that point. The second one I found in Mirage.
Yeah, that was from greater than, less than.
And,
or no,
and
I'm
so
sorry. Yeah,
first floor.
First floor.
Yeah. I didn't want to check any chests, right? Like, I know my opponent wants to check chests. He's a fighter. He's found his sword, but he probably wants some armor, probably wants other things to go around. I just want to find my key item and go. And in order to do that, I need to not be equipping that ribbon on the black belt. And so, yeah, I needed that 42. I needed to make sure I got the extra hits. I needed to just fully commit to that. And once I found the eye, after I was already like 37, I was like, what the heck? I mean, I'll duo grind this up if I have to, but fortunately it killed off the black mage in time and let me get back into it a bit.
Nuclear chaos. Canuck is down to just Czar. He's already got fast on. Only 200 damage. He cannot survive another nuclear. Another 180 damage. Let's follow this all the way. Chaos sticking with that ability list. 800 damage. We're getting closer. That's a lot of ink and not much else.
Oh, Ice 3. It
Ship
didn't hit too
damage,
hard.
but it matters. He got the wall off early. He's also got the dragon
Ooh,
armor,
there
and
it
he
is.
has the victory over Chaos. Terminated. Hangry
Jeez.
Canuck is going to be our second place. He finishes with a time of 123.58. So a difference of about 4 minutes there.
And here he is. Hangry Canuck. GG, sir.
I don't have anything good to say about this seed. Not one thing.
We didn't think so either. We saw how that seed started off with that early masa, and things were looking great for you very early. Where did it change for you?
Let me see. 4 wipes to Matoya due to Gray Wolves with Thunder. Wipe in Ordeals, a wipe in C. I wiped a 9 monsters in boxes. Yeah, it just piled up.
Well, you only opened 60 chests, which is rather impressive for taking a fighter. I totally expected you to be touching more boxes trying to gear up.
He did, but there were deaths.
Oh, that's very true. So, man, what did you? Well, I don't even know where to start now.
Well, how about the early game routing? Did you feel like that was actually better for you or worse to have the back and forth with just the 2-man?
I didn't find it too bad. I thought I played the seed really well. I couldn't catch a break either way. Every chest I opened or every fight I got into, something went horribly wrong. But GG Shoom, you played her well, buddy. It was a tough one to start, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. It was, man, I really thought I opened up pretty strongly, and then that ice cave, man, it set me on tilt. I can't even. I would love to invite you to watch it back, because that was just an exercise in remaining calm.
After my 4th wipe, trying to get the Matoya to turn into crystal, I basically went to the fridge and got a beer, and I sat there for a few minutes.
If it's any consolation, I did wipe at in Matoya's cave about 5 times trying to take on those bad men.
Yeah, I seen them and just left. I didn't even bother with it. What was in there?
I don't think
idea.
It got through it. It was brutal. This seed threw everything it had at both of you, and I was amazed at the perseverance both of you showed with some of the encounters you guys ran into. It really could have gone 2 different ways. I think it was neck and neck right at the end, and Shu managed to slip ahead because Tia 2 decided it was hungry for black mages.
Yeah, the black belt helped him out too. I didn't have enough offensive ability to go 2 rounds, and then Tiamat just pulled out the nuclear. I was gonna try to kill Chaos with the black mage until he hit nuclear, and Chaos hit nuclear, then I wiped that idea off the board. Because X-Cal +4 on a black mage is not bad.
The only unfortunate thing is that black mage kind of lacked a lot of the strength that he really wanted. But ultimately, we saw you give him a chance. You fasted him, and he was getting ready to swing, but the fighter was like, no, this one's mine. This is what I do. That poor black mage just kind of stood there with his big old X-Cal and cried a little bit.
You've seen me open my inventory before Chaos. I was actually going to move the power bonk and the white shirt down to the black mage and just go with him alone.
That was that absolutely would have been interesting to see a solo black mage take on Chaos with the next Cal and the power bonk and a white shirt. That would have been fantastic. Well, I don't know what else to say about this seed other than GG for getting through it. It was brutal, but you both picked amazing routes and made it work in the best possible ways. So good on you both.
Thank you.
He gave us a show. It was high on drama. Canuck, time for more Destiny of an Emperor.
Yeah, I think I'm going back to that now that this tournament's done.
Shoombabi, any thoughts about moving on in the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I'm anticipating probably facing Jet in my next round, which is scaring the bejesus out of me, and even more so, right? If I don't face Jet in the next round, I'm terrified because that means that his opponent won, and I already know the level that they both play at, and it's going to be quite interesting. I've already made it further than I anticipated. I'm hoping I don't have any of these some of the issues that were definitely forced by me, right? These are unforced errors that I'm making, and I need to like get through that. I don't know that it's going to be more practice or just some review, but I'm looking forward to the level of competition steadily increasing because it's already much higher than I was ready for.
Well, with that, I'll move on to some thank yous. Thank you both for a great race. Thank you, Chad, for hanging out with us. Chanigan picking up the restream. Melee Wizard reminding us always that swords don't run out of MP. Doing the tracking for us tonight. I've been Trenton, joined tonight by Nightmare Phoenix. Take it home for us.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. We got many more races to come. And this spring tournament is still just getting underway. So keep your ears out, keep your fingers moving, and remember, go fast.